You may know that the Vikings beat Columbus to America, but did you know Columbus wasn't the second, but the third European to reach North America? You may have heard the 13th Amendment ended slavery, but did you know it is still legal and practiced in the United States? You may have a favorite dinosaur, but did you know none of these are dinosaurs? Learn the truth behind these and much more in my new book, Facts That Aren't True. Link in the description.
You're representing your position that you are neither affirming nor denying the existence of God, in that you are suspending judgment, right?
Yep, it's a description about a mental state I have. It's not a claim about anything other than that.
It is a claim that one suspends judgment. Okay? You're giving me a claim about your mental state. Your claim about your mental state is that you're suspending judgment, right?
My claim is I don't know.
Right. I don't know is the equivalent of I suspend judgment as per the two propositions, right? So you are saying you are suspending judgment about God's existence or non-existence, right?
That sounds reasonable.
Okay. Now, the problem with that self-identification or claim to suspend judgment, it is contradicted by what you do. And what you do is you invoke propositions by choice without referencing the necessity of God. Propositions, when spoken, will either be spoken with reference to the necessity of God or without.
Says who?
Why? Says the law of excluded middle. Something is either A or not A. Do you reject?
So this magnet is only a magnet and not something else if a God exists.
That's not what I said. So the law of excluded middle, where it says something is either A or not A, how that applies is we can fill in the value for A. And if we fill in the value for A, it will be necessarily true. Something is either a cat or it is not a cat. Okay? When you invoke propositions, it will either be with reference to the necessity of God or without. A or not A.
No. This thing is either what it is or not what it is, not because of a God, but because it either is or is not what it is.
That's not what what you're doing is you're trying to segue onto a semi-related rabbit trail. What I'm giving you right now is not controversial at all. When you invoke propositions, let me finish. When you invoke propositions, you are either invoking a proposition. Let me ask you this question. When you invoke propositions, do you do so with reference to the necessity of God? Do you do that?
No.
Okay, so when you invoke propositions, you are invoking them without referencing the necessity of God, right?
Yeah?
Okay.
I don't know exactly what you mean, but it sounds to me like what you're asking me is it possible that this would exist whether or not God exists?
That's not what I'm discussing at this. That's not what I'm discussing at this juncture. Okay. What I'm trying to show is what you do is to invoke propositions without referencing the necessity of God.
If I want to say something about this Dr. Pepper can, I don't invoke the existence of the planet Pluto or other galaxies or you or Mithra or Spanky or God.
I'm not talking about that right now. You see, what you're trying to do is you're trying to cloud the point I'm trying to make by entering into semi-related issues. I understand the tactic. Okay, it's when people are afraid to talk about what I'm presenting, you want to segue onto semi-related issues. Now, when you invoke propositions by choice without referencing the necessity of God, that is an indirect denial of God. It's a
literally
necessary
false.
Let me explain to you why that's not false. Okay. God can be denied both directly and indirectly. Do you accept or reject that?
If I was born, so do you think that a a fertilized egg is a fully realized human being?
Is it it depends on what you mean by a fully realized human being.
Well, I'm asking you what you think. This isn't according to me. This is according to you.
What you're trying to do is...
Gary, we're not playing this stupid game, so answer the question.
I'm trying to have a conversation with you, and what you are doing right now is...
and it's going to involve me asking you questions. Because you're in my house, bitch, so shut the fuck up, okay? I am addressing your claim by asking I have to ask like 2 questions. It's very simple, actually. So you gotta unmute yourself.
Okay, see, we're gonna go to that tactic again. So when I'm objecting to being rude and obnoxious, you're gonna mute me?
Okay, so I am 100% addressing your claim that you made.
You're not.
Yes, I am.
No, you're not.
You don't know where I'm going yet, so you don't know that.
You're just bickering with me at this point.
Okay, Darth, I don't need you. I don't need you for this, so I can just say it without you if you want to go there.
Okay. No, I'd like to finish what I'm saying to you instead of you rudely over talking me and muting my microphone.
You asked me a question. I'm answering your question.
Here we go again. Okay, you're afraid to have an adult interaction with me. I can smell the fear.
The only one who's scared is the guy that won't answer any questions. You asked me, can a denial of God? Oh shit! What the hell was it? It was can you directly or indirectly deny God or something like that? I don't 100% remember, but that's what you asked me. Could you restate it? Because obviously you're gonna remember better than I can.
Okay, I just want to let the audience know he keeps on muting my microphone in order to shut me down. So he antagonizes me, so then I leave, and then he can claim victory.
You sound just like the. Yeah, calc is short for calculator, guys. Chat. Calc is short for calculator. The rage bait isn't going to work, Gary.
I'm not. There's no rage bait here. What I'm trying to get, my point is finish my point, and what you're trying to do, which is even obvious to all of your unbelieving fans out there, you're trying to block you having a conversation with me.
You're doing that right now by steamrolling and not addressing my questions.
Are you familiar with modus imponens?
Darth, we're not doing this. I don't care, okay? I don't need you. This is good for lulz and views, but I don't actually care. You said something about somebody can deny God's existence directly or indirectly. You asked me this question. I'm answering the question.
You're over-talking me and you're muting me in order to block having...
You asked me the question about denying God directly or indirectly. I'm addressing that exact question.
You keep on muting my microphone and you're over-talking me. You're deliberately doing it because you're afraid to have...
I'm not afraid. You asked me a question. I'm answering the question. Then stop dodging the question.
No, you're doing shtick right now. You're absolutely doing shtick.
You're doing anything other than answering this question. So literally, this is your last warning. You asked me if you can directly or indirectly deny God.
You keep on over-talking.
I'm going to keep doing it. You asked me, can somebody directly or indirectly deny the existence of God or something to that effect? I am answering your question, and we are not moving on until I address your question. But it involves me having to ask you 2 questions. So are you okay with this, or are you just going to act like a fucking crybaby?
Okay. I actually predicted to a friend...
You don't have any friends, Gary. Shut the fuck up. Are you going to let me address the question you made?
Again, I'm going to leave because you're not allowing...
I fucking double dog dare you, Gary. There, you just got muted. So are you a liar? Yes, he's not a liar, so good for him. Okay, this is what I was going to say to him. He said something to the effect, I don't remember 100% exactly, but you can directly or indirectly deny the existence of God. So I was going to ask him, I did ask him, is a fertilized egg a fully realized human? And he started answering it, but then he realized, well, I only participate in conversations when I know exactly what's going to happen. So he was going to do anything other than answer this question. I'm certain that he does think that a fertilized egg is a fully realized human. I was then going to ask him, does a fully realized human have a conscious experience sufficient that they can know that God exists or form a belief that God exists? The answer to that question is obviously no. So then would Darth say that a fertilized egg doesn't know God exists? He can't say that. That's catastrophic to the presuppositionalist argument worldview. That's where that was going to go. So, Gary, you lose by forfeit.